Welcome. As was mentioned, I'm Jill Manoff. I'm the editor-in-chief at Glossy. We are an online publication under the Digiday umbrella, and we cover fashion and beauty, particularly the business side of things and how digital and technology are transforming the industries. So I will allow everyone to kind of go down, do a quick introduction of themselves and your company. So first we have Matthew. Go ahead.
Good. Hi, Matthew Kirsch from Vita Shoes. I run StrideRight.com.
Hi, Lisa Brewer, VP of Digital Marketing for Full Beauty Brands.
Vadim Grimberg, VP of Consumer Growth and Insights for Dagny Dover. We make very organized handbags, super organized.
I'm Kate Fernandez. I'm with Glow Concept with Winky Lux. We're a beauty brand based out of New York that sells makeup magic.
Amazing. So very, very different retailers. We're going to talk to how these niche retailers are making it thriving in today's market, and also how they're using data in very different ways. So I'm going to start with Matthew of Vita, not Vita, get it right, Vita Shoes. You recently, am I correct, recently acquired StrideRight, which licensed. So talk about that. It's a very well-known brand, around for decades.
Sure.
Yes, talk about that. How are you able to kind of say, keep the consistency, I guess, and maybe just not go about not changing anything where the customers that know and love StrideRight aren't going to notice?
You've kind of hit on one of our biggest opportunities and biggest challenges. We are a 100-year-old brand, and I hate to do this, but the older you are, the more you like our brand and the more you know our brand. So on the one hand, we have this wonderful heritage. We're all about quality and fit, and for a long time, we're just a completely dominant shoe brand. So that's great. On the other hand, there's like 98 cool new brands now, half of whom you only find on Instagram, and we're way behind. So we need to kind of reintroduce ourselves, not reinvent ourselves, but we need to get in front of the newer moms and the existing moms that already know us, and update our brand in a lot of ways. And on .com, there's lots of initiatives around that, but in the whole company, of course, there are also.
So as far as StrideRight's positioning in the market, you would say it's traditional, do people just know of it as being a quality brand, or how would you describe it?
I think you've actually hit on yet another thing that we need
I'm answering
to
all
learn
your
more
questions.
about.
I'm going to shut up.
You're hitting the hard points. I think because we're a really large brand and have been around for a long time, we occupy a few different spaces. And Vita, my company, took over the brand about a year ago from another company, which had bought it from another company. For 80-some years, it was StrideRight Corporation. So we bounced around a little bit, and I think we really need to reestablish ourselves. So we want to be the best children's shoe for all moms and all kids. That's a broad thing. We need to be fashionable, but we're not going to beat some of the key fashion players. We need to be affordable, but we don't want to cheapen our brand. In fact, one of the major changes is we pulled back on lots of promos, especially online, which I can tell you hurts a little bit, but helps profitability. So, we have a lot of different things to work on. We want to regain that kind of cachet that we had for a long time. And it's going to take a while. And really a big part of what I think about in listening to all different folks today is we have a lot of data, we have a lot of opportunities. It's about prioritizing and executing. That's a big focus for me.
Yeah, and one of the ways you're using data, I believe, is to grow that cart. I know that people don't know that StrideRight does merchandise products outside of shoes, correct? Are you really driving to maybe accessories or other items?
That's a big opportunity and a big focus for me on StrideRight.com. So for a long time, it was just shoes, and because they were doing BOGOs all the time, that was good enough. Just get the revenue. Yeah. I believe that StrideRight can be an umbrella brand. We can provide at the very least socks and other accessories, but even apparel or other related items. So we're trying to chart a course for that. Again, short term, what wins can we get? How do we attach a sock to at least 10% of our shoes like they do in retail, where they get to talk to people? And at the same time, how do we do a long-term strategy? So the data, mining customer analytics, looking at lookalike groups for Facebook prospecting. I mean, there's all sorts of different angles to help us understand what our customers' appetite is and willingness to venture further into the StrideRight brand.
Awesome, and we didn't talk about this. Last question before we pass it on, but you mentioned, obviously you're not talking to the kids when you're marketing, and you're talking to the moms. You said moms. Are you finding that it's more kind of an equal equal marketing message? Are you talking to dads too more than ever?
You know, we're doing some testing on a couple of blogs that are geared towards fathers, and as a father myself, I purchased a pair of shoes or two in my day, but 85% of our web visitors are women. Everybody who I work with at Vita, and I'm new to the shoe industry, talks about mom, 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 which might be a little outdated, but they do drive the majority of the decision making. So we want to cater to our primary customer and allow everybody in.
Right on. All right, let's pass it down to Lisa. Hi. Hi. So, Full Beauty, it's really top of mind for me, this space. I just did this story yesterday on Walmart acquiring Eloquii. So it's definitely becoming brands maybe that never paid attention before, or not to the extent that they are today. Brands are really taking notice, and more brands are emerging dedicated to the space, which is great. But how is that affecting your business?
Well, I think I'm going to reiterate exactly the phrase you said. I knew it wasn't really working. Let's just trade. I'm going to reiterate what you said. It all is coming down to fit. And so I can answer your question with the word fit in two different ways. So out of the gate, I really feel that Full Beauty Brands is the best 100-year-old company you've never heard of. And in fact, some of you might have said, why is she mentioning Eloquii? The word beauty is in her title. This is actually the #1 direct-to-consumer plus-size retailer. And so it's 7 brands under the Full Beauty umbrella. And what's very interesting, and I go back to fit, is our customer has been 100 years of us knowing how to fit her. We fit for a size 20, and we go up and down from there. And so it really comes down to that and how we differentiate ourselves for the folks like Catherine's and for the Lane Bryant's and the Avenues. And then it also comes back to fit for the new players in the space. So if you think about all the brands you hear that are getting into plus size, since it is still the growing piece of retail, J. Crew, Loft, and so on, they're really fitting up to a 24, and we are seeing that as a tide that is going to lift all ships, because what Full Beauty excels at is, certainly the size is 10 to 24, but 24 is our average size. We actually go up all the way up to 44 and do the bulk of our business over, I believe it's 30 to 44.
I mean, that is exceptional, because everyone that's really patting themselves on the back, they're like, we're going up to size 24 now. That's very cool. And you carry men's, you do men's clothing as well. Is that newer? Is that a new addition? And how are you kind of getting that message out there? You know, we're not just the women's brand.
So we do have one men's brand in the 7. It's King Size. And King Size is truly this treasure of, talk about an underserved community. You can probably count the number of direct competitors on one hand. And what's really interesting is, similar to your shopping, maybe talking to the moms more, during the year, the bulk of the year, 60-40 men to women shopping that site. And then I bet you can guess which quarter that really quickly flips to being the other 60-40, where women are the predominant folks shopping that brand. And so it all comes back to data segmentation to understand, like, okay, this is someone who shops our site in Q4. How can we tailor our social message? How can we tailor our email message? Because this is the woman who's going to shop us that 1 to 2 times. She's doing the replenishment buy for her husband. She's doing that, oh, this is new and exciting, and maybe I want him to own this. And then how do we make that email speak differently to a different person than the guy who wants to buy his Wranglers in size 40 and we have 44 because we have them? And what do we do for the man who wants to buy? We also have wide width shoes, and we could fit Shaq if we needed to, so he can call us. So we have all these different areas of his life that he might be focused on that she might not be, and figuring out how to talk to him and where he is when he wants to be spoken to.
Great. So would you say you're using data to kind of acquire new customers and also to maintain that customer loyalty? And how so if you didn't already? Any other ways that you didn't mention?
So we're definitely using it in both cases. So Full Beauty Brands is also one of the top publishers. If we were actually a magazine, we would be one of the top publishers in the country. It is a catalog business first, and that's what obviously started in 1901. But so the entire time, really, almost all of our transactions happen digitally. It's 70% of the revenue happens on the website. And similar to Tom's, we might have just needed one button originally, and now it's very much evolved. But we had to figure out how to engage her in this day and age of, certainly, catalogs are working incredibly well for us. They continue to work incredibly well for us, but there's also a path to ride alongside the catalog with digital experiences that kind of haven't happened historically for that brand because they haven't needed it. And so now we're using data, and this company is sitting on this treasure of all of this data since they have been mailing to her both her catalog and her goods for all this amount of time. And so we can really segment the customer down to the smallest anecdote you would ever need. We just had last week, our very first customer day, where we actually delved into all of the brands to really understand who the customer was. About 50% of our customers shop more than one brand. That leaves a whole other 50% to understand, okay, what makes this person a Women Within person? What makes this customer an Elos customer specifically? And so we defined a persona for each one of these brands, our main customer and our supporting customers, to then figure out how to go then find these people elsewhere and to really zone in on who we should target.
Right on. Now, last question for you. You found a way to use Amazon to your advantage. Talk about that.
We heard it, for those of you who are here in the morning, I think it was McKinsey who said 55% of shopping begins on Amazon. And I started by saying we're the best kept secret in plus size. We need Amazon. Amazon might need us, but we also need them. And certainly what might differentiate Full Beauty also from many other panelists up here and also earlier today is our customers' average age is mid-50s. And so Amazon's where she is, Walmart is where she is, and for us to ignore this massive platform of where she is puts us at a disadvantage. And so again, we're about telling who we are, making sure people know us, and Amazon's a great place to do that.
Definitely. Well, thank you. Let's pass it on to Vadim of Dagny Dover. I'm a fan. No, see, I discovered...
I know you're a fan.
I get the ads all over social.
You're welcome.
I discovered Dagny Dover because of a pop-up shop that was next door to our office in Soho. Let's talk about that. Would you say part of your acquisition strategy, or a large part of that, is physical retail or these pop-ups? I'm not sure how often you do them. I would love to hear more. So physical retail, is that a big...
So yes, we want to find out what pieces of information people are looking for that they can't get online, right? I mean, we know what they are. Everyone here has probably shopped for handbags in some capacity. So we want to know if people can get those answers only in store, or if we can figure out a way to do it online. It's hard online because everyone's a completely different size and height, and we have a lot of different sizes of individual styles. So communicating what those use cases are is something we're in the middle of, and that's a big theme of actually what we're doing. That's my team right there. They're being my supporters, I guess. But we're trying to get more sophisticated, kind of to that level that Daniel at Tom's has in terms of getting all those touch points fleshed out. And a huge reason for that is to educate the consumer more about our own product. We're so close to it. We all use it, especially the fanny pack. That's the best fanny pack you'll find.
There's a fanny pack?
There's a beautiful fanny pack. But getting that in-store experience is crucial for not just figuring it out, but just to give the customer that wants to go to a store to find out if that's working for them, that the product specifically, that option, right? I mean, we're still D2C, we're still primarily e-commerce, but that's probably the easiest answer to that question. However, it absolutely is a marketing play too. Like, we have to show people that we can run a store, we do a store, we're that level of a brand that can commit to that and support it, and we absolutely can. But also the pop-up experience is just testing things out, because as we heard from Robin, like, retail is completely changing, and we have so many ideas as to what to do with that, and so we're slowly experimenting with it. We had a pop-up in December 2015 on Prince Street. That was just to see what happens. We had a pop-up this summer for our 5-year anniversary, Daggy Summer Games event. You may have seen some posters around if you didn't go to the event. And we actually have a pop-up opening tomorrow for the next 3 months. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that.
Hashtag ad.
But basically, come check it out. It's 419 Broome Street. But the idea is we want to try all these things out. We have the capability to do it. We have an incredibly talented and driven team. Like, I just can't speak highly enough of them. But if we can deliver that in store, we can be successful with it. We're just going to keep testing and doing. And that's kind of the whole point. It's a prove to ourselves, really.
Yes, I know that you've mentioned part of your strategy is events. Are these one and the same, like these events, as part of your pop-ups, or do you do things otherwise?
It's evolved over time. I'm not the best person to answer that question, but we're open to a lot of things, and if the space that we're in for retail is conducive to really cool events with really good partners, that's really important for us. We'll do them. We're not afraid of trying it out. But as far as a strategy, it's just about making sure that one, we get the brand identity across. Two, we show use case, because people just like to be kind of pushed along gently as to how to use the product. Especially, again, we know it so well, but we have a lot of work to do to inform the, potential customers and existing customers.
Definitely. Now, how would you describe your retail mix? Because we hear a lot direct to consumer. A lot of people are going more that direction, away from that direction. But I know some of your retail partners are maybe Equinox, and there are some others.
Yep.
Why did you decide to kind of seek out other partners?
So Equinox and Bandiere are huge of partners by affinity. It's one, the customer we want is already shopping with them and already spending the money that we want them to be spending with us. And we know our product is good. We are fully enamored with our product. We fully believe in our product. So getting it in front of the right people is crucial. And that's my entire goal, is to get the right people, more of the right people to see our stuff. And those partners are vitally important to helping us prove that those are the customers, not just through data, but also through actual support from even the staff in store and hearing their feedback. It's huge, right? We're also on Nordstrom.com, and that's just to make sure that we have a best-in-class partner where we're learning from, right? And they're learning from us as well. And it's mainly to have that proof of customer base.
Yes. Any other ways using data to acquire customer acquisition? Anything that we didn't touch on?
Honestly, Brandon's presentation, Brandon Purcell, right? Brandon. It's going to give me nightmares because that's like where I want to go, but like my team is very lean. But all of that, like, it's vitally important. My job is to prioritize the steps that we take. And we're actually, if you want like a fun use case for all the things we talked about, we're now at that inflection point where we're taking on some of these platforms. Like, we're just signed with Costora this summer. Like, I'm sorry for having it take so long. But basically, what we're gonna do is put a lot of these things into practice by setting the right benchmarks and goals. And then hopefully Nicole, I think we have a good relationship right now. She's our head of marketing. She won't hate me too much when I start asking for a lot of content and a lot of malleable timelines, basically. But data is scary because there is a lot of decision paralysis. And we have really, really smart people on our team who can think of solutions extremely quickly, which means they come up with answers and questions really quickly. And it's my job to sort of say, hold on, what do we actually want to do? So I mean, I won't reiterate all the things that have been said in presentations because they're exactly what we think about and exactly what we want to do.
It's like, here we go. Get ready. Kate.
Hello, it's nice to see you again.
Yes, you as well. We are event happy this week.
Yep.
So tell us about Glow Concept, because you're definitely, we think of it at Glossy as kind of old guard versus new guard, and there are the Estee Lauders and the L'Oreals, and they're acquiring these newbies, these indie brands, but also transforming their ways to compete. You're with the new exciting brands that are doing the innovative things. Talk about some of your brands right now, and maybe what was missing from the market that the New Guard's bringing to this space.
So Glow Concept's only 3 years old. We're a baby compared to you two. We have Winky Lux, which I think is the most notable brand. It's the one that we're really pushing super hard. And then we have Laka, a little older, very refined, kind of like the Reformation type girl. And if you don't know Reformation, it's a great brand. My coworker, Nicole Hamilton's wearing an awesome dress, and she's taking a picture of me. Hi. And then we have Beautiful Rights, and that's kind of our charitable arm. But I think my focus is probably going to be on Winky Lux. We think that something that was missing in the retail space and in the beauty space in general was this happy factor, and we're all about bringing joy to our customers. It really boils down to 3 things. They want to be inspired, they want to feel connected, and they want the ability to share. And so when I say inspired, I mean they're all about aesthetic. The girls that are shopping with us, they shop with us because of our packaging. We have little cats on all of our eye palettes. I mean, our lipsticks are in the shape of adorable little pills. They're flowers galore, glitter, pink. It's pretty extra. I love it. And so they're going to places like the Museum of Ice Cream or the Color Factory that's right across the street. So they're all about aesthetic. They want their surroundings to be as inspirational as their feed on Instagram. They want to feel connected to their friends, to their peers, people that are like-minded, and I guess they go to places like kind of like Coachella or Burning Man, you know, to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And shareability, because if it didn't happen on Instagram, did it really even happen? I mean, everybody's like a pocket content creator nowadays. So if there's no picture, then, you know, I might as well not have gone. So there's that. So I think that that's kind of what was missing, and now with Winky Lux, we're popping up all over the country. We opened our first experience store in Soho in August, and in the first couple of days, we've had maybe over 1 million views on social, and it's been a fun ride. I mean, we just opened Atlanta. We're having Chicago open in a couple of weeks, October 18th. Then we're moving into DC, Miami, Dallas, and hopefully the West Coast, because I really need some sun. The winter's coming soon.
I mean, if you haven't been, it's definitely Instagrammable. It's amazing. It's so fun. So talk to me about technology, how you're using data to, I guess, I don't want to say make your products. Speed is a main factor for you. Is that correct?
Definitely. I mean, one of the things about this day and age and the girl that's on Instagram and the girl that's shopping is she doesn't want to wait. She wants the trend in her pocket before anybody else knows about it. So if we can't move fast, we're not doing it right. So we're idea to reality in about 45 days. I mean, that's always the goal. There are some products that we definitely can't push out in 45 days. And it's our unique supply chain. I really can't delve into the tech there that allows us to do really special things super fast and assess risk and make decisions, which is basically where the bottleneck happens in product development. On the data piece, I mean, we use insights for customer data, obviously, to kind of figure out what are the products that are really sticky, what are the products that have the highest LTV attached to them, and kind of develop things that are similar or reformulate products that are already working, but you know, we're seeing kind of a dip here or a dip there. So that's kind of how we do it.
Got it. And then the products are out there. How are you using data to market those items?
I mean, if you're not using data to market, it's kind of odd. I mean, we're kind of watching what's going on. I think a lot of the conversation that I've heard today is about personalization, so I'm not going to bore you and say that. Obviously, in our third year, that's what we're really working towards. So I'm going to have similar nightmares. I hope that he can share that deck so that, because I didn't take the best pictures, but that's really where we're at. But I think it's interesting in the brick and mortar aspect, kind of figuring out what products are the ones that are selling in Chicago that we could be pushing to these girls, because obviously there's something happening there. We want to be able to push the right products to the right girls.
I mean, do you have a team just scouring Instagram, picking up on the trends?
Excuse me?
Do you have a team just scouring
Oh,
Instagram?
Yes. Yeah, we use platforms
YouTube.
trend casting platforms, and our girls are mostly, our target demo is the girl that's working with us. So, for example, the matcha bomb is a really great example. Back in March, we're like, wow, matcha, everybody's matcha crazy. It was like January, February, it was really hitting heavy. So we went on to social media and we asked our girls, we're like, hey, do you guys want this? Like, we're thinking about creating this. It's a matcha bomb. They did want it, and so to date, I think we've sold over 15,000 units, and we're actually currently sold out. So you can't buy the matcha bomb right now, but you can in 2 weeks. It'll be back in stock.
Oh my, look out. So cool. We are going to wrap it up, but I'm going to, just to wrap it up, let's go down the line. I'm going to do one final question. Let's make it fun. Put you on the spot. Let's start with you, Kate. Kind of, if we're back here in 1 year, kind of what's a goal? What's an immediate, something that you want to achieve in the next year in terms of, just
I want Winky Lux to be a household name. I don't want it to be
within
like,
the
what's
year.
Winky Lux?
She's not good.
I know, we're not playing. In a year, that's what I want in the United States. I want everybody to know Winky Lux. And Europe, too. We just opened a satellite in the UK, so we're coming for them.
Perfection. Next, within the year?
Same question?
Same question.
I think for me, I'm going to have a slightly more boring answer than that. But I really
aggressive.
I really want to prove out the things that we've been doing. Like, in my role, what's important is to make everybody that I work with and all of our employees know that their intuition, their creativity is correct, or at least has a path by which they can feel more confident to move forward, right? Like, I don't want anyone to sit down and say, I don't know what to do. I mean, that's a lot of what we're talking about today, from my role at least. So being in a place where all those processes are sort of in place, but also flexible enough to where we can meet the goals we want to meet, whether they're creative, financial, or community-based. And I think that overall, I know that the net effect will be like we have a bunch of people out there who know us and love us because it's so real, because we've created that environment.
Love it. How about you, Lisa?
A personalized churn program.
There you have it. And Matthew?
Got a lot of goals, but to grow profitably and rationalize the 12 different data sources I have so that I can truly differentiate StrideRight.com so you don't need to buy our shoes on Amazon.
Perfect. All right, let's give these guys a hand. Thank you so much for being here.